welcome to the Crazy Christmas Challenge, 5 days to calming your Christmas chaos. I'm so glad you're here, so glad you came, and I want to ask you to do me a favor. Would you share this right now? Maybe forward the email if that's how you have received this. Maybe share it on social media, wherever you're at, and just let someone else know that this is going on, that you're doing this, and you'd love for them to be involved. They can go to crazychristmaschallenge.com and they can sign up to be a part of it, or they can follow us here on Facebook. Now, ultimately, this isn't something crazy I'm asking you to do. This is really dealing with a crazy Christmas, just like 2020 has been a crazy year. You know, if you go way back into the first part of the year, we think about different things that made the headlines, like the death of Kobe Bryant, the Australian wildfires, Brexit, and COVID, obviously. And oh yeah, don't forget about those presidential elections. You know, each month of 2020 seemed to outdo the previous with its weird, wacky, warped, and unprecedented catastrophes and or conflicts. I wonder from you, outside of the election and outside of COVID, which I think would be the top two obvious, what is the most unbelievable headline that you remember from 2020? For me, I just immediately think of the murder hornets. And I remember reading that on my social media feed one day, and it was just kind of like, what in the world is this? Like, where do these come from? Like, it just seemed like the end of the world is happening. I don't know for you, what do you think of? And it may not be a negative thing. It may be, wow, this was impressive. I can't believe this happened. It may be for you that college football had no fans, or Ohio State somehow got into the championship, even though they've only played 2 games or whatever it is. Something like that, something real important. But for you, what's the most memorable, unbelievable headline of 2020? Something you just didn't think was going to happen, but it did happen because, I don't know, it's 2020. All of these events and more have caused a spirit of uncertainty and instability throughout our country. It feels as if the very fabric of our society is not just being unraveled, but also stolen from us and then exchanged or replaced with something that's far less comforting and trustworthy than the things that we've grown accustomed to in our lifetime. Instead of meeting each day with a grin, we kind of meet it with a grimace. Not sure if the day will bite like the one did yesterday. People have lost their jobs. We've transferred from in-person classrooms, in-person church, to virtual classrooms and virtual church. We've missed graduations, proms, weddings, funerals. And we've done all of these things for a cause and for a purpose, and sort of in an attempt, if you will, to get the world to spin the way that it used to. Back in the good old days, like 2019. Just for a second, you got to realize, remember 2019, where we were kind of like, man, I'm so over this, can't wait to get to 2020. The truth of the matter is, this is Earth, and every year is broken. Every year has its craziness. Every year has its catastrophes. Although, I'll be the first to admit, 2020 has set some new records. Even institutions like church and school and Walmart have changed the ways they delivered these products that we've come to rely on for so long in our life. And we could just count on their products and their services in a certain way, but no more. Professional sports are being played in bubbles and where no fans are present. I haven't even eaten Chick-fil-A inside of a Chick-fil-A in 10 months. Now, I've eaten Chick-fil-A because their drive-thru still works wonderfully, but haven't eaten inside of one, like with my computer and unlimited refills, and things are just kind of upside down. We can't even remember the last time that we shook someone's hand without the fear of catching disease or perhaps death. And now, just in time for Christmas, COVID has seemed to reemerge for this encore performance. And as the curve inflates instead of flattens, we've even taken our Christmas lights out a few weeks before Thanksgiving, in an attempt to exorcise the demons of this difficult year. But even our inflatable Santas seem to have run out of the magic as COVID threatens to cancel Christmas cheer and to replace it with the coal of chaos. I believe we can calm this Christmas and get the joy and the peace and the hope back into December. But not just December, not just on December 25th, but more importantly, into our everyday lives. And over the next 5 days, I want to encourage you to come with us and invite others to come along with us as we look into God's Word for some encouragement and direction in calming our Christmas. We're going to take a simple look at that old story from Luke chapter 2, the first Christmas story. And while our initial thoughts are towards the majestic angels shouting praises and the Magi presenting these lavish gifts to the young child, I think we're going to point out and see that this first Christmas was just as much chaotic as today is and that 2020 is. And we're going to see that in the lives of the major players like Mary and Joseph, they experienced the craziness and the chaos, but also the calm that came with Christ as he was born in a manger. Again, thanks so much for joining us. Let someone know about this, and let's click on over to day one.